Okay, what's up, folks? It is Sunday, December 11th, 2016. Rich Van Tassel giving you our weekly NBA report. Starting, of course, in the Eastern Conference. Things really starting to shape up. As expected, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors, the two teams last year that were head and shoulders above everyone else, are once again setting the pace again. Cleveland 17-5, very impressive. Toronto 16-7, 7-3 in the last 10 for Cleveland, 8-2 for the Toronto Raptors. Right there in their differential, Cleveland plus 7.9, Toronto plus 8.3. You go down to the third place team, it's the Charlotte Hornets. You look, they're 14-10, 6-4 in their last 10, plus 2.8. Then you go to the Celtics, who are 13-10. 4 through 6 are all tied at 13-10. So clearly those two teams are atop everything else. LeBron James putting up 25 points per game this season, so very impressive there. Also leading the team in assists at 9.1. He's quietly putting up very, very good numbers. Kevin Love getting the rebounds over 10 per game, but LeBron James, as we said, putting up numbers that are quite impressive. It's just you got Westbrook and James Harden putting up astronomical numbers. Rounding out the top 8, Detroit and Atlanta 13-12 and 12-12 respectively. Indiana 12-12. Milwaukee starting to come along. They were getting hot. They're 11-11 in the 10th spot. Washington, winners of 2 straight, 6-4 in their last 10. They're 9-13. They would only be 2 games out of the final playoff spot. Of course, we're just over a quarter way through the season, but that's certainly something to keep an eye on. John Wall once again putting up good numbers. 23.6 points, 9.6 assists per night. Bradley Beal is really the story on this team, though. It's really going to come down to what he brings, how consistent he can be, how well he can fit in with John Wall when they're on the court together, because that, to me, is what's most important going forward in this season. Beal's putting up 21.5 points per game, only 3.3 assists. I'd like to see more, but he's a shooter. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to score. He's shooting just under 45%, so having an effective season this year. Going to be interesting to see if Washington can put it together. Of course, I like their front court with Gortat. Let's just see, Washington is an interesting team. There's too much talent for this team to be bad, and I look at Washington as a team that could potentially give a team like Cleveland a run. You have 2 guys who can score like that. You got a shot. Then it really starts to taper off after that. Orlando, 10-15, I guess realistically still in that. And then you got the bottom feeders, Miami, 7-17, losers of 5 straight. Brooklyn, 6-16. Philadelphia, 5-18. Philadelphia is really bad. It's, if anything, you look at, tanking is good. Tanking is good. Philadelphia has, had the worst record in the league by far for the last 3 seasons, and they're going nowhere still, so I don't know. Moving to the Western Conference, Golden State really coming along, 20-4 as of right now. They did lose to Memphis last night. Little bit of a surprise. They got their doors run out in that one, but that happens. The Grizzlies we'll get into in a minute. 9 out of 10, 10 out of 11, 11 out of 12. 12 out of 13, 13 out of 14, 14 out of 15, 15 out of 16, 16 out of 17. So that broke a 16-1 run for them. Durant putting down 26 points per game. Draymond Green, he's quietly putting together another good season as well. 2.3 steals, 8.4 rebounds, and he's leading the team in assists. So you look at a guy at the power forward position or center, whatever you want to say. He's small forward playing center, a center in a small forward's body, I guess. He's really running the show there. San Antonio finally losing a road game. They're 19-5, 8-2 in their last 10. Clippers 17-7. Houston, winners of Houston, Memphis, 17-7 for Houston, 17-8 for Memphis. Memphis without Mike Conley. So we'll do Houston first, but they're 8-2 in their last 10. Got a win over the Celtics. The Celtics, of course, I'll do a report on them tomorrow because they're playing tonight. They've really been disappointing these last couple games, but Houston coming up with that big win. James Harden still at over 11 assists per game. Very impressive there. 27.8. He's really flourishing in D'Antoni's system. No surprises there because James Harden does not like to play defense. And Mike D'Antoni does not like to coach defense. Sorry about that. Memphis at 17-8. Now, what's interesting with Memphis is without Mike Conley, Mike Conley's going to come back in plenty of time where they can reincorporate him. They need to find offense elsewhere. And with him out and the way they're playing, they should be able to do that. Marc Gasol, of course, taking on the mantle of the responsibility. 19.9 points, 4.1 assists. He's also leading the team in blocks. Zach Randolph still at 8.2 rebounds per game. He's getting the job done there. Only 13.7 points. It's really the bench play. Vince Carter, I'm going to see what he's doing right now. He still, gets the job done even at his age. There are things he can provide. He's a good shooter. I'll turn 40 early in the year, but still putting down 9 points a game. Limited minutes. Only playing 18 minutes a game, giving you 9 points. Shooting just under 39% from three, right at 39%. That's good enough. Or excuse me, so no, his shooting percentage isn't that great. He's shooting 30% from the floor and just under 39%. Just under 39% from the floor, 30% from three. So, Vince Carter not giving them exactly what I would have hoped. The rookie Deontay Davis not getting much time. So, I'm not even sure where Memphis is getting it from outside of Marc Gasol doing the job in that regard. But give them credit. Let's see how long they can keep this up, keep winning. Troy Daniels actually providing some punch. They're just using a lot of their depth is what's happening. Chandler Parsons, another guy, I don't even think he's played that much. He's putting only down 7.7 points. So I don't know how Memphis is doing this. But, they got the win, of course, last night over the Golden State Warriors. And let's see what happens and if they can start incorporating more guys into the offensive flow of the game to move forward. Because that'll be very important for them come playoff time. They need more scorers. Oklahoma City at 14-9. They have the same... are in the same position as Utah in that division, but ahead in percentage points to the 14-9 to Utah's 15-10. Of course, Russell Westbrook still out of his mind this year. 30.9 points, 11.3 assists, 10.8 rebounds. Remember, we were doing a weekly report, I guess it was like 2 weeks ago, and he was at 9.9 in his rebounds. Whatever you say this guy can't do, he's going to do. His shooting percentage, not great, under 43%. From three, under 32%, so that's something he's going to have to pick up. But he's accepting the responsibility, and he's doing what he needs to do in that regard. Of course, the Celtics are going to have their hands full with him tonight. Real test for Avery Bradley in that regard. Utah 15-10. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Gordon Hayward 23.3 points, playing very well. Portland, when I thought they were getting it back together, they're now losers of 3 straight, down to 12-13. Going to check Lillard. Lillard's still putting up spectacular numbers, 27.8, 5.6 assists. I'd like to see more than that. Evan Turner, who is obviously severely missed in Boston right now, he's not even doing that great in Portland. 9 points, 2.9 assists, 4.2 rebounds. So he's pretty close to his regular numbers for his career. That's what he was putting up. But in Boston, that's a little low for his assist numbers, but he was right around there. Last year, he was at like 10 points. Last year, 10.5, 4.4 assists. So let's see if he can continue to improve those numbers. I think he's going to be very important to that team. They need something off the bench to really keep them going. But Portland, of course, been disappointing, like a Washington team last year that I had high hopes for. So let's see what happens moving forward, because they're already 25 games in. Lakers were 10-10, but now have lost 5 straight. They're down to 10-15, coming back. Really, the Lakers are 2 games behind Portland. I would expect that that difference to go, of course, in a big direction. Otherwise, Portland moving up, the Lakers moving down, and the rest of the teams: Denver 9-15, Sacramento 8-15, Phoenix 7-16. So you look, it's pretty much set, that top 8. I would only look at a Sacramento team who could make a run. New Orleans 7-17, the Minnesota Timberwolves killing me this year at 6-17, and Dallas, of course, 5-18. So Minnesota really disappointing. All right, so the power rankings, of course, Golden State is going to be number 1. No real discussion there. Going to keep San Antonio number 2. Cleveland will be number 3. Toronto number 4, and then the Los Angeles Clippers not number 5. I'm going to give it to the Houston Rockets and Memphis Grizzlies tied. They both have the same record at 17-7. Clippers in Houston, and Memphis 17-8. But those teams have won 6 straight. Houston 8-2 in their last 10. Memphis 7-3. So that's where the difference comes in over the Los Angeles Clippers. All right, so be sure to stay tuned later. We'll be giving you the game recaps of what is now Week 14 of the NFL season. Remember, we appreciate all subscriptions as well, and the Celtics report will come tomorrow because they have the game tonight. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you later on today.